Excuse me. What in the world are you thinking?
Mean Gene, the first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I gotta say.
What up, y'all? It's KMB, the Sexy Ninja, in the place to be for C Plus Studios and a Paper Saber universe. This is the New World Podcast, brother. And we're going to talk about AEW's Dynamite in Sacramento, California. The Revolution Fallout show. What's going to happen? Where do we go next in stories? We got Taz, Excalibur, Tony on commentary. And they start the show off the right way. In my opinion, they've been doing this a lot lately with the with the AEW All Atlantic Championship changing its name soon next week in Montreal, but it was Orange Cassidy, the champ himself, versus Jay Lethal. Orange Cassidy got the win, Jay Lethal lost, but this was a good match. This is a way, I really like the fact that they're having this championship be so important, and Orange Cassidy's really getting that shine and that grind and stuff like that. But I noticed throughout the show, like when the best part about it was the starting of the show, was when Jay Lethal's coming out. He's got Jeff Jarrett there, Sanjay, everybody there, but they get kicked out, and Jay Lethal's like, "Hey, what's going on?" But I kind of noticed that too, like everyone was coming out. They walk them to a certain point, then they left. It felt like that. Anybody that had a little group or faction or whatever was going on. So, but this match though, I did enjoy it. I did like the fact that Orange Cassidy won, but after that, Jeff Jarrett, they all start attacking. Here comes Danhausen, they're best friends. We're building up this, and it's going to be Orange Cassidy and Jeff Jarrett next week for the International. Is that right? Yes, the International Championship in Montreal, because it's crossing over the soils, and it's going to be it's a different title now. So the AEW International Championship. But Jeff Jarrett got Orange Cassidy with the guitar to his knee. It was pretty grimy. After that, we had Ricky Starks promo talking about what's next for Ricky, where do we go. He's asking those questions upon himself after beating Chris Jericho, a huge win at Revolution. But then I jumped out of my seat. I was like, what? When the Bullet Club logo hit, I was like, holy shit, what's going on? And the Juice Robinson attacks. So we know where Ricky's going. He's gonna be one-on-one with Juice. What does Juice Robinson have in store for Ricky Starks? That just makes me excited, because that's two great competitors gonna go at each other. And like I said, that Bullet Club logo that popped up, I was like, god damn, what's going on? Big surprises, shocks and awe. Tony knows how to do that. Double or Nothing's coming up in May. We had Ruby Soho do an interview with Renee, and she made some good points in this interview. She brought up some good points, like saying like, hey, when we came out, we were asked, when we came here, and everyone's like, yeah, you're all elite. And they're begging Saraya to come out of retirement. So she comes back, but they get booed. And now Tony, her and Ruby, they just, they're outsiders. They're not homegrown. They're from the other side of the company and stuff like that. So I kind of really like that angle, because I was waiting for them to do something with Ruby. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I don't understand what we're doing here. And now I'm like, oh, okay, the outsiders. They're not homegrown talent in AEW. They are misfits of this company because they don't belong but they declared war on the locker room, especially the women. They're like, hey, homegrown or not, we're going to fucking kick some ass. We're going to kick everyone's ass, and that locker room better be on notice. And this sets up Sky Blue versus Ruby Soho with the match that was announced. But they had an interview with Tony. Tony did an interview with Wardlow. Poor dude. Someone jacked his gear, jacked the TNT Championship, broke his window. He put a little thing out on social media. And by God, he said, if he was there, he caught the person stealing, what would have happened? I was like, just how big and malicious and vicious Wardlow is. I bet you he's a teddy bear outside of the company, but probably pissing him off would be the wrong thing to do. So when he said, if I caught them, I was like, oh, fuck, dude. You imagine breaking into someone's car, then you find out that it's Wardlow? You break into a car and you turn around, Wardlow standing right there? You got some balls, man. And they were bringing up on Busted Open Radio, Mickey James and stuff like that, Tommy Dreamer, and the rules of the road. You should always bring your gear in. But that's still, I understand rules of the road. I understand, protecting your stuff at all costs. But it's how shitty fucking people have to be just to break into a car anyway and steal all your stuff. Yes, desperation, but the same thing. The crazy thing is, this dude could go take it to a pawn shop, or it's not like he can display it on social media. Like, look at what I got. I got the championship. No, that is stolen property right there from a big company like AEW. So I don't know what the intentions were there. So much love to Wardlow. Sorry for losing all your stuff, man. That sucks, especially the gear. He probably spent so much money on that stuff, and the gear itself. I can personally say, when I was wrestling, the gear is precious, especially because you put money into it. You put money into your look. You make this a part of you, and I can't imagine losing your gear and getting it stolen, and you'll never get it back. You'll never see it again, and that's really shitty. But we have Sky Blue versus Ruby Soho. Ruby Soho for the win. Saraya, Tony come out. They're going to put the L. They need to get them some better spray paint. They need to get them some really and they need to do better tagging skills because they can't tag for shit. I'm being serious. Every time they do the L, it doesn't look. It looks a little shitty. And when Willow Nightingale came out, they attacked her. She went down. Saraya didn't even make an L on her chest. She just sprayed the can. It was just this big patch of green on Willow Nightingale's chest. And I'm like, man, get them some new spray paint. And I was looking at my notes here. In Ruby Soho's promos, the starting, I felt like she stole that from the Joker. Oh, let me tell you a story. She had that menacing Heath Ledger Joker vibe to start it off. But like I said, I really did enjoy her promo. Now get them better spray paint if they're going to go tag people with the L. Renee's backstage with Hangman Adam Page. I was excited to hear Hangman's all right, I'm beat up. I had the fight of my life. And he says, I'm done with Jon Moxley. We're done. Not going to do that again. And I was just okay, good. Now we move on. That wasn't the case tonight. I was like, okay, Hangman Adam Page, we get the move on. We get the new, where does he go next? What is the next challenge? And I feel it should be towards taking on MJF for that AEW World Championship. And he had a black eye too, man. So he went to war with John. And you can see it. You can see the results. All right. MJF Aftermath promo package. Talking about he's going to have a rebar mitzvah next week on his birthday, March 15th. Happy early birthday. From KMB the Sexy Ninja. I hope you hear this, MJF. I'm a bit of a stalker of yours. A tiny bit. Not a lot, but a tiny. Kiss the ring. So... that got weird. But no, he talked about, he's like, I am the devil. I'm growing horns. I'm doing this. I am everything that I told you I was. And if you watched that press conference afterwards, man, and I said it on the AEW Revolution review, I said, after this, people should just shut the fuck up because, yeah, he proved himself in that ring. And he has made a name for himself. And now it's like, who has that it factor to take on an MJF and go toe to toe with him? Now that we know he can talk, he's the full package. Yeah, so great stuff there. We had Tony with the FTR in the ring, and they're talking about how last year they lost their titles, they lost a best friend. It was very emotional, and their challenge. They said next is getting those AEW championships, and they said the reason they came back is because when the Guns proclaimed that they were the greatest tag team ever, FTR wasn't having it. FTR was like, no, fuck that. You were given everything by your father. So I'm excited to see FTR take on the Guns. FTR back is awesome. Awesome. Renee with Jade Cargill, 53-0. You know, it's funny. It's like I think I mentioned this last week or the week prior. I was like, where the fuck is Jade? You know, she just I don't think Tony really knows what to do with her. Like he'll bring her on, have a match so she can keep building this big 53-0 and whatnot with the TBS championship. So it's just like she's there, then she's not there. She's there, then she's not there. She challenged somebody next week who wants to face her for the TBS championship in Montreal next week. So let's see what builds there. Then I bet you $1 we won't see her for a while after she beats whoever and goes 54-0. All right, every time I'm about to say the Jericho Appreciation Society, ever since I put it in my brain, I'm like, the Juggalo Appreciation Society. No, KMB, stop. The Jericho Appreciation Society versus Top Flight and AR Fox. Top Flight AR Fox is top-notch excitement, man. And this match had me going. There's a spot where Jericho's on his knees and he does this run and he hugs Sammy. I'm like, what the fuck's... And they're doing poses in the ring, and it was awesome, man. But they cut a promo afterwards after JAS. They win. They cut a promo saying they want the Trios Championship. Jericho, Sammy, and Garcia. They said that's what they want. They're calling out the House of Black. The lights go out and bada bing, bada boom. It's the Elite. I was like, yes, you know, now we're gonna see this. And then House of Black comes out. Well, there was one point where Kenny was on the mic and he's talking, but Don Callis takes the mic away from Kenny, and I was like, what's going on there? Is relationships slowly burning bridges between Don Callis and the Elite? Why did he do that? Then House of Black comes out, and House of Black says, Malachi goes, yo, if you guys want this, come get them. So next week we got the Elite, we got JAS, and we got the House of Black in a Trios Championship match. That is huge for next week. Very excited. Just some great moments in this show, man. Jericho afterwards, you creepy bastards, you know. There's just so much good shit on this. Like, if you watch this match with JAS and Top Flight, there's some really funny parts. You know, the bat comes into play, the JAS promo afterwards, man. This is just some good shit that I really, really did enjoy. Oh, and Don Callis saying Jericho next to Kenny Omega is the second best wrestler to Kenny Omega. And Don Callis was like, and if I had to train a little bit harder and I came back, you would be the third best from Winnipeg. And I was like, damn, somebody call the fire department. We gotta burn. Tony Khan had an announcement tonight. He announced Jeff Jarrett versus Orange Cassidy next week, and I already talked about top of this podcast. So the international is now the International Championship. Gonna happen in Winnipeg. That's gonna be a big match. And this was a crossover promotion with something that I hold dearly in my heart. I am a comic book nerd, a comic book aficionado. I love comic books, and one thing I love about comic books is DC. So this was a promotion with the new movie Shazam, Fury of the Gods crossover package, and they're showing Cassidy, they're showing Jeff Jarrett, they're showing bits of the movie, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of marked out. I was like, oh my god, this is so awesome! Look at Shazam and Cassidy and Jeff Jarrett. But you know, it was a crossover, and I was just like, I like this. Bryan Danielson aftermath promo package as well, talking. He's sitting there. This is right after the match. He's beat down. He's no longer himself, and he's telling MJF, is like, you were right. You know what you did to me in that ring. It really scarred me and made me think when you said you're never gonna play with your kids again because I'm gonna beat you down. He goes, I couldn't feel my arms or my leg, and it was really sad. And I kind of teared up a bit because Bryan really brought it to this promo, brought that emotion, and at the end of it, he's like, it's time for me to go home so he can go home and see his kids and his wife and stuff like that. And I was like, whoa, I'm guessing he's taking a little bit of a break now. But man, in that 16-minute Iron Man match plus well-deserved time off if that's what's going on, you know, so he can get himself back together, back together, boy. Claudio and Moxley versus Dark Order. This match was okay. Nothing too out there or whatnot. You know, there was Wheeler. Claudio and Moxley win. This is Dark Order's getting the revenge for Evil Uno, and then Claudio and Moxley and Wheeler, they start beating down Dark Order, you know, and Evil Uno comes out, it sets off this thing, and this is where I kind of was like, why? Hangman Adam Page comes out for the rescue, while, you know, Blackpool Combat Club's attacking, you know, and I'm just like, so now that Adam said that he's done with Moxley, now it's going to be Dark Order versus the Blackpool Combat Club, and we're still going to have Hangman Adam Page versus Moxley. Okay, I guess I don't know. It was just something for me as a that loves stories, that loves the way things should be booked. This was a booking decision I was just not really a fan of. I'm not gonna lie. I looked at this and I scratched my head and I was like, I guess, you know, sure, you know, but yeah. So Renee with the Acclaimed backstage with Daddy Ass are talking about, yes, they need to reclaim their glory and get back to getting the AEW Tag Team Championships. The JAS interrupts and tells them, Daddy Magic, you guys are sports entertainers, you know, and the Acclaimed laughed them off. That I just remembered something that I wanted to share. So I've been falling in deep into the rabbit hole of professional wrestling. I am now a Ring of Honor Club member just because they started a new show. It's every Thursday. Episode 1's out. I'm going to watch that. I'm going to give it a review. Episode 2 comes out tonight. But I am now somebody that is falling deep into the wrestling hole. And that sounds dirtier than I wanted it to. But I'm falling in deep just because it's been helping me mentally, because I've been going through some things in my brain lately, and, you know, wrestling really it calms me down, brings me down, it brings out the joys and whatnot, just like a lot of other things, my escapism. This is another one of those escapisms, but I just been diving deep into pro wrestling and just enjoying myself, and thankful for all these dudes and gals and all, you know, all of them, for putting their bodies on the line and everything like that to entertain us. And it's just something that I appreciate. I love every single one of y'all. It's nothing but love to everybody out there in this sport. Now, to my thought. Daddy Magic. So I started watching AEW Dark. I didn't know there was AEW Dark, then AEW Dark Elevation. I didn't know there were two separate entities upon itself. I don't understand. They could have just been one thing, just AEW Dark. But no, because I was like, when did they change the Revelation or Elevation or whatever? But I was like, you know, fuck it. I want to watch this. Juice Robinson's on this one. This is the one I watched this past Monday. And I all of a sudden I hear Paul White, aka the Big Show. It's the Big Show, or Captain Insano. You know, on commentary. I was like, then I heard Daddy Magic, and I was like, what the fuck, you know? And Paul is the play-by-play, and Daddy Magic, he is the color commentator, I guess. But hearing his voice, you know, hearing that New York accent, you know, what I can't do it justice, like, you know, but I was like, this is such a weird combination of two very different individuals on commentary for AEW Dark Revelation. But it wasn't bad. I was entertained, and there was some things I kind of popped at because it was funny, and just their interactions, and hearing Paul White just calling a play-by-play, and, you know, Daddy Magic like, ooh, yeah, that hurt, huh? Ooh, that, yeah. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh. You know, so if you haven't seen it, check it out on their YouTube channel, AEW Dark Revelation, man. I was just like, holy shit. Like, there was just such a weird commentary team that I'm actually down with. I'm really down with Daddy Magic and Paul White on commentary. I'm like, we need to bring some of that to Rampage. I want to see how that works out on the bigger stage. All right. Now, the meats and potatoes of the show, I guess. The TNT Championship, Falls Count Anywhere. Wardlow, he doesn't have his title apparently, but they did have a replacement title in the end. I already kind of ruined this match for myself because, of course, you know, I watch these the next day, and I like watching them the next day so I can break down the show in my notes and stuff like that, and the notes I take for these reviews and stuff. And all of a sudden, I just see Powerhouse Hobbs with the championship, and it was due to a count out, Falls Count Anywhere, of course. They started in the back, and they start beating the shit out of this car. Maybe it's a thing that Wardlow's like, yeah, fuck this. We're going to beat this car up because somebody broke into my car and stole my shit, so we're going to beat the shit out of this car like it's this car's fault. It wasn't the car's fault, man. The car did not deserve to get that much of a beat down. But I will tell you this, as much as I was trying to enjoy this match, it wasn't great. It wasn't grand. I didn't really care for the finish with QT Marshall. I was just like, oh, okay. So literally this dude, Wardlow, takes on Joe, gets revenge, takes the TNT Championship, then gets his shit stolen, then loses to Powerhouse Hobbs, and Powerhouse Hobbs is the new TNT champion, gets a new belt, and by the helps of QT Marshall. And I was like, huh, okay. I guess, you know, it's just one of those things I was like, nah, I don't know how I feel about this. This is just, tell me what you guys think, because I really was like, when the chair came, I was like, who? Oh, and they're like, QT Marshall, and I'm like, okay, yeah, you know, this does have some deeper cuts to it, you know, because we haven't seen QT in a very long time, and just out of nowhere, causing Wardlow to lose his championship, so I know we're going to get another Wardlow versus Powerhouse Hobbs for the TNT Championship, and I'm not counting down the days to that, because I like Wardlow, I like Powerhouse Hobbs, but they're just two massive dudes, and it's, you know, very hit or miss when it comes to big guy matches. You know, now I'm more used to like the Elite and stuff like that. Nothing towards them, because these guys do work hard, and they did whoop the shit out of each other. But I will say my favorite part in the back, when they started with the car, Powerhouse Hobbs hits Wardlow with the Sonic ring, and he throws it, and it sounds so light and hollow, like, and I was like, I couldn't, I was trying to like just watch, and you know, as soon as I heard that, I was like, you totally took the disbelief that caused any form of pain at all to Wardlow. As soon as I heard it just fly off, and I heard it rolled off, and I was like, I couldn't stop laughing. I had to pause the show just because I was laughing that hard, because I just hearing that thing go, I'm just hearing like the weak sauce of it and not being so heavy, and I was just like, man, yeah. So tell me what you thought of the show. Drop those comments below. Then after that, hit that like, hit that subscribe, share it with your grandma, share it with your grandpa, share it with the bum down at Walmart. I am KMB, the Sexy Ninja, and as always, the New World Podcast is for life, brother. Oh, shit. My bad. Before we go off air, hold on, producers, hold on, everyone hold on, before we go off air, okay, all right, I give this show at least a 3.5 out of 5, and you know, it did what it needed to do. I was entertained, but it wasn't what I expected from a Revolution Fallout show, like where we're going next. You know, now we're kind of relaying the foundation of what's next, up building up to Double or Nothing in May. So about 3.5 out of 5. I was entertained, but I wasn't blown away. But I was entertained, and I did get some good stuff from this, like, you creepy bastard. Now, to sweet me, and remember, the New World Podcast is for life.
The broken foundation is the entitled little shits in the back. The broken foundation is the rookies who think that they deserve the world. Because Tony Khan and all of you people give it to them.